Be very, very quiet. Very, very quiet. We're hunting agates. Very quiet. Look at that fortification just sitting on the side of that. See? I think it's just full of fortifications. And if that matrix will hold together, it'll be awesome. So be very quiet. We's hunting agates. Very quiet. Now you can see, if you've been watching the evolution, that has come from Winston's Thunder egg saddle. That right there you can see is how this is such a conglomerate. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the best way across that I can. Let's see just what in the world we can come up with. We are cutting 4 of these. Today's going to just be a kind of a hodgepodge. I have a lot of work to do around here. Case in point, there's the table. This is behind the scenes of the evolution. But anyway, I am going through material. It comes to a time when you actually, gotta get the bags out of my eyes. But anyway, it comes a time and a place where you have to look at stuff that you start getting kind of, like I said, rock hounding, you get in what you put in. Now, the first one we're going to be cutting is off of Castle Mountain. You can tell how big that is. But it's got some interesting fortifications right there. So that one right there, we're not going to get greedy. We're just going to try to avoid the fractures. I'm thinking it's going to go across the face. But by gosh, old Castle Mountain right there, that episode is where that baby was gathered. So, but in this video, we are going to do 4 different pseudo claim locations. But if it sucks you in and it turns into quite a hobby for you, then you'll find that you'll get to the point where it's hard to scale. What can I do with this? Is it a display that I would like in my house, my home? It's a super solid nodule. So we will see just how nice that one. Old Daryl's deep. Daryl's deep. She don't let you down. She's a good place. Good place. Nice pseudo claim. Is it something that somebody else would like? And it's sitting in front of me, even though I may have a couple of material that looks very similar. There's a lot of crossroads, and believe me, the biggest crossroad that I had to realize in a hurry if I was actually going to enjoy it to the level that I'm actually have done with the evolution is knowing full well that the little lapidary saw could not do it. Could not do it. There's that big Castle Mountain nodule in the saw. Would I please release me? Let me go. Let's see what Castle Mountain has to offer. But could not do it. I don't have enough life to sit and do that. So I had to make a choice whether to make that investment into those nice slab saws or stick with it. Now, I will be using that, and there is a purpose. Once the slab saw is taken care of, shows me the discovery that this is good material, we can do something with this, then I can take it to... There's old Covington Sr. in the background, but we're going to try to just cut that. So we'll have a strong side and a weak side, but hey, this is narrows deep. Keep your fingers crossed. She don't disappoint, that old pseudo flame. Then I can take it to the lapidary saw and, of course, do cabochons, jewelry, things like that. But I didn't spend the time cutting on the lapidary saw and finding out that there's nothing I can really do about this. So, hey, you stay in there. I love the diversity. We keep on growing. I'm going to try to keep producing material. I'm going to be going to the Teton River here right shortly. Now that one is such a hodgepodge. That's old Covington Jr. in the background. We're double dipping there again. I'm just trying my best to have decent displayers and avoid all the windows possible. That comes right out of Winston's Thunder Egg shortly. But it is not going to be just drive down to the bank and fart around a little bit. It's going to be, I'm going to feel like I'm going up the Missouri River, just like Lewis and Clark. I love the search. I love the quest. I love all of that. Now, I have been there before. I've been there multiple times. Remember, I'm born and raised here. We will see if we can find material and look at it with the details that I have gathered up with these eyes. Even though they got the bags underneath them. The eyes. And let's see what we can find. We got to get down below that Huckleberry Ridge explosion of Yellowstone and get down below it. It could be some pretty older material. And I don't know of anybody that has talked about that much. You hear a ton about the Yellowstone, but to actually have good material in the Teton River was discovered on the day of the hellhole. And what we're going to do is we're going to put it in scale. Here's my finger. You should be able to see all the blue. The blue just radiates out of this. And we're going to see just what we have in the center of that. It always becomes a crossroad when you pick this up for a hobby, that you get to where you have advanced. If you pick it up, it's just things that were treasures at one time don't really seem to be, they've lost their shine. And so you're faced with that issue of what am I going to do with it? There's some pretty good stuff here on the Evolution. I'm not throwing it away. I'm not being mean to the rocks. But gosh dang it. Now for a bonus cut, we're actually going to do this one. And this one here came from that episode. And we're going to cut this and see. This is a hybrid. This one was near Vincent Van Gogh / Clay Ridge. And we're going to cut that dead center, and it is another super solid nodule. Keep your fingers crossed. You have to sit and have to make decisions. Now, the Evolution is basically, its plan is to actually have a nice set of material that the labor could eventually possibly be sold, made into crafts, jewelry, things of that nature. It's evolving. But I've ran into that crossroad, and some of this video is going to be based on kind of going through the material, and what you found 2 years ago, you might have found a whole lot better by now. So anyway, hey, have fun. That one right there is off of the Hellhole episode. We're going to face that. Let's see how blue that is in the inside. See if we have another smiley. Now I think going through this, we'll go ahead and we'll cut us another one. This one is actually a nodule from Vincent van Gogh, Starry Night. I like how that's a difficult cut. The Mitchell vise is upside down. We've got to just barely clear the blade because we're just trying to face that. But that one's tough because of that damaged nodule. But anyway, yeah, this is a tedious task. But I feel like Smog on the Lord of the Rings going through the gold. And that material right over in here is flower bed material. Well, there's the one from Castle Mountain. And by gosh, we're going to try our best. We're not ranking them. It's all in the eyes of the beholders. And we will just see. But if you can tell, just look at the little detailed little pseudomorphs. I'm going to go through there just so you can see. I'll try to give the details of it. It's got a lot of quartz, but it also has some different features. It's pretty interesting. So let's hover around and we'll jump to the other side. Pretty interesting. Pretty. Never know. She's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. A little bit like the evolution videos. But dang pretty. But as you can see, this is a daunting task. Now what I've done is I've chose to gather up these treasures called filing cabinets. And a lot of people we're seeing a whole lot of value in a filing cabinet, so some of them I could pick up for $10, sometimes for free. But they've actually worked very well for some outside storage. Well, I have things flagged. Now you don't see it because I got to do a better system. You can see old Starry Night right there, Vincent van Gogh. But now I know the location, and now I have learned what material I can do something with and what material I can't. And unless it is gorgeous material, if it's fractured all to pieces, well, it's a decent little rock, slash mineral. This one I'm going to put on the whole list because it doesn't look overly fractured. I don't know. I need to make one cut. It might have kind of a patchy white opal look to it. Might make a decent little pin, and it's about the right size. Now here's the one that came from Narrows Deep. No fractures. More or less a water liner. Like I said, I'm going to do everything I can. Please comment. Almost looks like a little bit of azimuth right there. You see that violet in that one. And here's this. Again, no fractures. This one's considerably smaller, but still beautiful. For what I have planned in the future. But we have Narrows Deep nodules. We have Clay Ridge nodules. We have petrified wood. Okay. We have smaller portions of petrified wood. So you have to go through, find the the ones that you just sit and cut and cut and cut. Now, I know a lot of people probably don't care for me talking about lapidary saws. This is a lot of the material that I was cutting with that little lapidary. And I'll tell you what, this size, okay, you see my thumb, okay? This size, let's see if that thing will catch a focus here. Okay, that size right there, I'd be sitting there getting wet and getting a little frustrated just getting through that. Here's the bonus one out of the area around Clay Ridge. Very hard nodule, but mostly it has a really pronounced white cloud within it, a water lining. And so kind of washes it out a little bit. I'm trying to see just how good I can get that. Looks a little distorted, like the details are having a tough time. There's the bonus cut. So we're going to go this drawer here. Has some pretty nice almost and possible polishers. So it's time to go through the material, but I really couldn't get any type of substantial cutting done until I truly picked up my slab saws. Now, once I got that, then I could really start going to town. Now, here's the one that came out of Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night. But for that locality, even though we have some good clear chalcedonian, and you can see those clouds of tubing. You can see that, those, I believe it's called a pseudomorph. But again, no fractures. So it's not overly special, but it's still a beautiful little piece. And again, for scale, there's my finger. And I strongly recommend still strongly recommend don't fall into those pitfalls that I did. I know budgets can get tight at times, and sometimes it can get extremely tight. This is a copper mine with no name. You got material here. You just start acquiring through the course of time. And so after a certain period of time, person has to go through this. And your standards just go higher. I see some channels that I swear their standards never truly go up. They just kind of have, well, what you'd call fluff. Maybe my talking's fluff. Hell if I know. But they spend time, and I know that they have cut enough material to know that that is not going to be that great a material. But they still keep showing it over and over again because, hey, we can fail. We can have an expedition that goes out and have a complete failure. There's nothing wrong with that. It's reality. You don't find material all the time that is fantastic material. You know, everybody knows that has watched the evolution that I do pseudo claims, false claims. I don't believe in claims on public land except for extreme circumstances. A treasure to one is not a treasure to another. It's always been that way since the beginning of time. But I do like that those almost, there might be some top shelfers in there. We're going to go through that. All right, there is the one that came out of the area we call the hellhole. And we'll do it the old-fashioned way, because you would not expect it to look like that. Isn't that interesting? What I really like about this is it actually has no fractures. We're just really hitting it out of the park with no fractures. I think that's just amazing, because remember, it's really hard. Some people stabilize the material and epoxy and all that. But boy, it sure is nice to get the material when Mother Nature hasn't already cracked it. It's definitely a superior product. But look at that. Just look at that neat floating. It looks like a galaxy up there on that right upper. That is very interesting. Now, like I said, I'm trying my best, and hopefully we can get a really nice focus on that. So hopefully you're enjoying this. Now, how is that possible? There is not a fracture in that. It is just absolutely gorgeous. That is off of Winston's Thunder Egg saddle. I cut that almost as perfect as I could. They're matching twins. I believe there's a need for a return mission to Winston's Thunder Egg deposit. And I just thought of something. Maybe some individuals, please comment. Tell me which ones you think are the prettiest. I'm going to do the best to represent this beautiful, beautiful, large nodule. I said you've seen what it looked like on the outside. It was crazy. You see the matrix. What's the definition of a thunder egg? You can see those details, and you know what? I don't see a fracture. Nothing substantial. Absolutely amazing. I just cannot believe what some of these things are turning into. Well, so hopefully this didn't drive you batty. Thank you for subscribing. Thanks for watching the entire video. It really helps. Trying to get the subscriber count up. Could always use a share. Thank you again so very much. I'm always trying to make it interesting. And you know what? I know if you're a new viewer, it's all fresh. I'm trying to treat the recurring viewers so they have something different almost every time that I produce something. So, hey, thank you so very much. You have a wonderful day, wonderful evening, wonderful life. Take care.